Awesome. Let's jump into this Q&A with our guest, Adrian Gluck.
Yeah, we got more of this crap?
You hold on tight. Pumping out a ton of great content on YouTube. I really know for your reviews. Can you tell us what your favorite items to review are?
You know what I really love reviewing? Barbells. You know, as a man, I feel like I could talk about how something feels, the shaft feels in my hand, just time and time again, and it never gets old. Things like tensile strength and sleeve length, they really turn me on. Now, that is sarcasm. Barbells are the least exciting thing in the world. I know there's some difference in them, but like, Jake, you've done it. Like it's hard to be interesting with barbells. So the things that are exciting to me are things that challenge me and they're a little bit different. And this is probably very true of most things in my life. It's actually one of the reasons the YouTube channel came about. When I took my new position teaching, I switched schools. I had to teach video production. I didn't know crap about video production. I taught engineering and coding and lots of things before, but never video production. So I just tend to throw myself into things. So I kind of started a YouTube channel. I mean, there's other reasons there too, like I talked about in the last podcast maybe, but that's how I live my life, and that's how I'm interested in most things, and it's the same with reviews. So like when I did Fight Camp, it wasn't a popular video, but it was a lot of fun because it was different, and I had to learn something completely new. Same thing with our video coming up this week. We're going to do, like, somebody commented we should do a VR fitness video, and being a gamer, I jumped all over that and overspent and bought a VR headset. So I'm pretty excited for that stuff. And things when I have Winnie in them, like the Garage Gym tour we just did, that's a lot of fun and exciting. But some of the stuff, you know, you can only talk about something so many times. Like I have a lot of benches right now, and I can make jokes about them, but it's not always that exciting to look at another ladder bench. So I think, you know, things that are different, exciting, things that challenge me, that I can get creative with, that's probably more fun than, and that's not to say I don't appreciate doing the barbells and other stuff. I do, but it's just not as exciting, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I was going to guess benches because it seems to be like a favorite to buy maybe.
What do you mean by that? You know, I think I have
how many benches
benches
do you have? But I mean, you're currently doing giveaways.
13.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, tomorrow one gets given away, so that's
So we're down to 12.
We're going to give 6. Well, no, we're going to give 5 away, and here's why. I wanted to give all 6 away, unless I had to sell one to pay for shipping. But I put one in the basement, and my cat scratched the vinyl all up. And it's a Flybird bench, so you're like, okay, they're pretty cheap, but it's the most expensive one. It's the Flybird Pro. It's like $300. And I was so mad because she just like gouged the whole thing up. So now I got to be like, hey guys, only giving away one less bench here because one is demolished.
Send the picture. Like, this is what happened. And
this is what happened, guys.
It's the Gluck special.
You won. So awesome. Besides that, I mean, as long as you can have fun with it, it's cool, but it can be tough sometimes. But it might be my schedule that makes it so hard. I don't know.
Gotcha. Well, you know, last time we talked, you had some remodeling that you're doing to the gym. It seems like you're at a not a finished point, but like a comfortable place. You got the lights all taken care of,
all
things all cleaned up. It got to a point where, you know, you just released your latest gym walkthrough. Where are you at in like the remodel process?
So we set the date for the gym tour because it forced me to finish the space. A home gym is never complete. But I did actually I could probably spin this camera, but hopefully nothing bad happens. That right there, not exciting. I know if you're listening to the podcast on Spotify or whatever, you can't see that, but those are the last boards that had to go up. So I just put those up the other day. So I'm in a pretty good spot. There is one piece that's about 1 inch wide that I'm missing, and there's some trim and little things that need to be done, but the remodel is as complete as it's going to get. I have some trim kits and stuff. There's some airflow going through because I haven't finished everything, but it looks good on video, which means it's basically complete, which also means if you watch the gym tour, it kind of started pushing into the third bay, even though I'm not allowed to officially. But you'll see, it's like one of Winnie's first comments. Yeah, if right off the bat, she starts like talking about how I'm in the third bay and I'm not supposed to be. So The gym's in a good place, or the space, because anybody who's listening who doesn't know, we built this from literally an empty building, no insulation, no electrical, like literally 2 lights. So it's taken us like 2 years to get to this point, but it's in a good spot right now.
Yeah, it looks great. I love the video. So if you haven't checked it out, guys, get on there and watch.
Be
Going
the most
back to
exciting
benches,
27 minutes of your life.
Those are my favorite to have
good.
on in the background. Like when I'm working out, I love just like walkthroughs. It was awesome.
Yeah, Winnie makes she makes a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you two together, it was different. It was cool. So going back to benches really quick, if you can only have one, what are you keeping personally?
That's an offensive question to someone like me. Can I combine benches or just like one? Like
I would like that unique answer, but then like
do
if
both.
you could only pick one, yeah.
Okay, I'll do both. If I could take the Rep vinyl and put it on the Rogue Adjustable Bench 3.0, that's probably what I would do. I like the Rogue AB 3.0. I think it's the best built of the benches I currently have, but the vinyl, and I know there's people that will defend it, but I've had at least 8 people try it, and I've got a lot of benches here, and not a single person has liked it or gravitated towards that vinyl. Now, I do have the premium pad as well. The standard pad, in my opinion, is too slippery. It's too rough. The premium pad is much tackier, but it's a little narrower. So if I could take a Rep pad and put it on there or something like that, I would stick to that one. If I couldn't do that, that's where life gets tricky. I would probably keep the AB 5200 as much as Winnie would yell at me because it's such a tank. She likes the 4100 because it's a little more practical. Or, yeah, I'd probably do something like that. Out of the benches I have anyway, I like the AB 5000, but I'll be honest, it's kind of a pain in the ass to move around. So with Winnie, it doesn't happen a whole hell of a lot. But then again, with this many stupid benches, like there's no logical thing I'm doing here. Like people can just whip out whatever bench they want. So like to say it doesn't get used much is kind of dumb because come on, how many of them get used much with 13?
What would you recommend to the masses, like with price in mind?
I mean, price in mind is tricky. I would not recommend to the masses the Rogue Adjustable 3.0. I do think it's really well done. But like $700 for an adjustable bench is a lot. I'd probably say the AB 4100. It's probably at this, and there's a lot of other great benches. So don't get me wrong. I know this. Other people will say like, "What is this? What about this? What about this?" It's online. People like to argue. At $400 shipped, it's kind of the in between where you're. I don't want to say $400 is a budget bench. It's definitely not. It's still the mid range. But it's a little easier to justify than when you start jumping to like $500, $600, $700. I'd probably say for most people, the 4100 is more practical for a home gym. But there are other really great benches out there too.
Cool. I think it's a good time for this question since we're kind of talking about price and you kind of referenced this above. What if you were given the scenario if you had $2,000 to start a home gym?
You want like an item breakdown?
You don't have to get like super specific because I'm sure you don't have like, okay, for this price amount, you can need this. But like generally, where are you spending the bulk of that money? And then like, what are you filling that home gym with?
So depends on your essentials. So everybody's answer will vary. But for someone like me who's kind of a power builder, I want to power lift, but I'm not really that strong. So I do some bodybuilding as well, so I can look cute for the other boys that come to my gym. I guess for Winnie too, but she doesn't really care. I would do something, the essentials. I guess start with the rack. So you're not going to get a really great Rogue or Rep rack for that. Like I can't get a PR 4000, 5000 Rogue Monster or Rogue Monster Lite. That's going to blow your whole budget. I would probably go to my favorite company, Titan, and do like a 4-post T3. I'm guessing it's on sale, so it's like $650. I could be wrong. And for this, you'd have to take taxes out, right? So let's say it's $650 for a 4-post. That's basically a knockoff of my Rogue R6, except instead of 6-post, 4-post. Then barbell-wise, see, you could blow half your budget just on those two things. Like if I wanted to go really cheap, I do like a Titan Economy Olympic barbell. That's like $100 shipped. It's oddly way better than you'd think it would be for $100 shipped. That's like the extreme budget range, because that's, I mean, you're talking $750 at that point. If you want to step it up, go to like a Bell's Bare Naked Powerlifting bar. That's $200. You might be able to do like a Boneyard Ohio or Ohio Power Bar, but that's like $250, $300, right, for a Boneyard bar. So if I did $650 for my rack and $300 for a barbell, that's too much, I think. So let's just say $200 right there for the Bare Naked Powerlifting bar. That's $850. You need collars. We'll make it easy and say those are $50, but those are expensive collars. You get cheaper, so $900. You got to do plates. That's where you're going to blow your whole budget. And if you want to do this realistically and not be like, just buy them used, guys. I mean, plates are not cheap. So let's say like a Rep old school cast iron plate. They have two of those plates. One's like the double dish, right? And one's the flat. What's the double dish one called?
Double dish are the standard plates.
Standard plates. So I had those. I did not love them just because the finishes were inconsistent, but they're fine. So anyway, either of those are fine. Aesthetically, they just look different. But let's say that's like $500. I'm going to say a pair of 45-pound plates shipped from Rep is probably like over $150.
It's about $160 right now. Yeah.
There you go. So I'm going to cheat conservatively and say I'm only spending $500 in plates. So that brings me to, God knows what I said, what, $1,350? Right? I don't know if that math's right. We'll say that. You
said 9 earlier, so $1,400. You got 600 left.
So $1,400. You need a bench, so you're going to do like a Rep AB 3100. What's that? 270, right?
Yeah.
So we're at 1,700. I'm not going to get adjustable dumbbells for that kind of money for $300. Not any good ones. So I'd get handles. At that point, I'd probably just get like Fringes handles are better, but I'd probably get the Titan handles. I want to say when I bought them, they were like $100 for a pair. They're really good for that price. It's like, what, $1,800? I don't have a whole lot of money left. And I don't know where you want to blow it from there. I'd have to really think, you're not going to you can get horse stall mats or whatever makes you excited. Go to Carvel and get an ice cream cake. I don't know. At $200 nowadays, I'd have to look around and see where I'd blow that, but that gives you a bar, plates, a rack, a bench, dumbbell handles,
One of your favorites that you're kind of forgetting. What about some Olympic rings? Where are those at?
Oh my God, yes, the gymnastic ring. I thought you were going to say the Yahitech Olympic barbell. I was going to drive to wherever you lived and give you. My God, how did I forget that? Yeah, gymnastic rings, 100%. If this was COVID, right, and you couldn't get anything, I would just get rings because they're like $50 or less. Like, even if I think the problem is people think you have to be a gymnast to use these things. I am not a gymnast. Winnie is you saw the gym tour, right? She ran into a freaking tree playing paintball. And it was funny. She was behind me. So I turned around. I was like, oh, no. And we had to stop the match. Anyway, she does, she'll do push-ups on them and dips on them and pull-ups on them. And she can't do great with the pull-ups because, that's a tough movement. But, she uses them. And she's not a gymnast. And I am sure as hell not a gymnast. I think dollar for dollar, that's the best investment you could make for a gym. Because you can do rows and all kinds of things with them. And you look cool. Maybe you don't look cool. But you think you look cool when you're using them. So yeah, $50 there and you don't have much left. $150 or whatever. Time you throw tax and stuff in. I don't know. You could probably
maybe like a wall-mounted pull-up bar with those rings.
Yeah. I guess does the T3 come with a bar on it? Otherwise, you'd probably blow it really. In reality, you just blow on more plates or I don't know, a couple stickers or something. I don't know. It's crazy because if you asked that a year or two ago, I did a $1,000 home gym video and a $2,500 home gym video, and I bet you I should update those. I bet you they're not even remotely close to what they used to be.
Oh yeah, I would love to see the updated.
Yeah, I gotta
just
do
dub
that.
over and just be like, nope, the price is this now, and then just see how it compares. That'd be kind of cool.
Be a good video.
I was right about to do the Amazon $1,000 build video, and Coop dropped it. So I was like, well, I'll just wait a little while, I guess.
Yeah, or just having something written and then a content puts it out. It's okay.
Yeah, you kind of.
It's there.
Whatever. Yep.
So speaking of your videos, known for the intros, which you shared with us last time, your wife writes a lot of those. What's the most favorite? Your favorite one you've ever done?
My mostest favoritist?
Yes. The goodest one you liked.
The goodest, bestest one. Okay, so I don't know. See, I mentioned this last time. The intros, Winnie writes them the night before because I'm freaking out trying to get everything done. Like I got to do the thumbnail and all this stuff. I don't want to do anything in the video, and I am a grumpy person sometimes. So a lot of times I hate the intros because I'm so freaked out and stressed out. And this happens every week. Like we were about to drop the gym tour. I wanted to watch like the Celtics Nets game. And I was like, sorry, can't. The audio is messed up. Like it was just every week something screws up. Anyway, I'm dodging the question. My favorite ones, I hate all of them, are probably ones with Winnie because they're more fun. Because I don't have to think as much. It's just like a more natural thing. It's not just me talking to a camera alone in the room. So, or ones with my son. Like if you saw the Bells of Steel SS3, where I drove to pick him up from school with the safety squat bar on my back and the plates like hanging out the window. You know, like that was fun because you get to mic him up and like get him to climb into the car, and I have, I can't help him. Like that stuff's fun. Or like he did one with like a Rocky montage, like he's training and we're doing the Rocky montage. Like those are fun because you get to work with him. But I guess those would be the good ones. I mean, there's a lot of really popular ones people like, but I got to be honest, they're the last thing I want to do. And sometimes that we talk about, like every week we talk about, should we keep doing these? You get really stressed out because there's one more thing to do. But I don't know. People seem to like them, I guess. But I don't know. Today we dropped that video. Only one person said that there was no intro. So maybe everybody hates them and I'm just fooling myself.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Reading the comments, it's usually a fan favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be stuck with them. We'll see.
So I like this next question, especially for like asking like Jake or you. So that number one item on your wish list to review, but you can't quite pull the trigger.
Does Jake get to answer this one? You want to go first, Jake?
Oh, I would have to think about it.
I mean, I have my answer, I think.
Go ahead.
So I have been, we'll say this. So I got a couple, because you said can't quite pull the trigger, which means I can't justify it financially, right?
That would make the most sense, yeah.
Okay, so mine would be probably the Irwin Fitness adjustable bench, especially if I got one of those crazy finishes he puts on them. It's not that I can't afford the bench. It's the shipping from Canada is like over $500. And every week or two, I talk to him all the time. I'm like, maybe just like quote me on it one more time. And I'm like, no, maybe not. We'll just talk about the roller J cups instead. I think not that I need another adjustable bench, but I do. If I'm getting rid of 6 of them, right, it only makes sense. You get rid of 6, you can bring more back in. I think that's something like that would be interesting because if it's something like a Rogue Rhino or something, I just don't. Financially with the adjustable bench, it's almost logical, whereas with some of these other things, like it's so far off, like I know I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So I guess
that
that's
makes
my
sense.
answer.
Yeah. And then you brought up like his finishes that you appreciate earlier.
They're insane.
I didn't realize like $500 to ship a bench. I mean, I know it's Canada, crossing borders. There's lots of
like a moose. They strap it to a moose, and it's got like switch to each one.
The Mounties riding over.
Yeah, you got to get it Molson to let you up. Exactly, it's this whole thing.
Fucking Canadians. All right. All right. So you're out there.
Wait, Jake's got his answer still.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Man, I forgot.
I'm sure there are larger items I'd rather have, but off the top of my head, I'd probably go with a Kabuki power bar. So those are like $650, and you can get a really good power bar for like a third of that after shipping. So that's a big thing. I love my Kabuki bars, but to buy an actual power bar when I'm not deadlifting like 600-700 pounds to like truly like appreciate it probably.
Yep.
So I think that's something off the top of my head.
Nice.
That's a good answer.
So you're out there hustling with your 2 jobs. What's something on the home gym side of things that you wish you had more time for?
Oh man, name it. Maybe just to enjoy it more. And I think that's true of the space and the channel because I am doing the 2 jobs. So when I get home, if I'm not hanging out with my son, so he goes to bed at like, 8:30, a lot of my nights are, researching or like tomorrow night tomorrow night I'll have to research and finish my research for this VR video, and then Saturday night I'll probably be filming until like midnight. So it makes it less enjoyable because I feel like I'm always go, go, go. And it's the same with working out because you have a kid, you have to make dinner, everything else. So with the two jobs, like it's always like, all right, guys, we're going to work out these 4 days. I'm going to be in the gym from this time to this time. And you never stop to enjoy like what you're creating. You know what I mean? I think that's probably my best answer.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And then you said like enjoying your space as well. Is that like fitting in your actual workouts?
A lot of the times with the workouts, like, I'll write up what we want to do. And then it's like, well, hey guys, I do need these 5 B-rolls. So like, this is what we should do to hit these muscle groups, but we're going to throw this in here. So like sometimes the workouts get to be less enjoyable, almost like a chore or like work, because we're working around what I have to do because I just don't have the time to do it. I don't want to, sometimes I'll get like comments from people on the channel, like nice overhead press form. I'm like, dude, that was 2:30 in the morning because the B-rolls didn't come out and I had to come back outside and just do this without a warm up because it didn't work out. And I need to push this video because I got to get up at 5:50 in the morning to go to work. Some of that stuff, I'm really appreciative of where we gotten, but it's not always like, it's not as much fun as I'd like it to be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it's a job for sure, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, lastly, are there any projects you're currently working on? I know you have the VR one coming out, but anything else on the horizon you can share with us?
Besides slowly expanding into the third bay, I do have a lot of stuff on the way. So review-wise, we've got a lot because I do plan on expanding a little bit over there. So we have another rack, another bench, and some fancy stuff coming because I've burned all the channel money, I suppose. I did have a project I was super excited for, the Phoenix Fitness Maverick Bar. Have you guys seen that?
Mm-hmm.
I had been talking to him for months, going back and forth, and my bar was the first one off the line, and it was going to be shipped this week. And then Adam from Garage Gym Lab posted. I selfishly hadn't posted. I really should have probably to help him out, but I knew this was going to happen. So I was really excited to review it and kind of like show this thing off because of how awesome it is. But somebody, some big manufacturer saw when Adam posted it, and a couple people reached out to him. So that whole thing's on hold to see if somebody's going to manufacture it for him. So like that, I was super, super excited to do, but I don't know if it's going to work out quite. But there's other things, we have a lot, like I have a Rogue Monster rack coming. I have the Rogue MG4 cambered bar coming, super expensive. I've got a lot of stuff in the works. But that was probably what I was most excited for, I think. I mean, I had some other stuff like in the tour. I want to highlight some smaller companies because, as you guys know, people are more apt to push companies that are going to make up more money. There's no nice way to say it, and it makes sense. People are going to make money as an influencer, as a reviewer, right? So I want to do a series where I work with smaller companies. So I'm pretty excited to work and do some of those things because those guys are so appreciative, and it can be a lot more fun than just reviewing like the next new thing. But I don't know. I guess that's my answer.
Cool.
I'll hop in and just say it's been really rewarding to chat with some of the, smaller companies on the podcast and give them some exposure and hear their story and, just help them out as much as they can. And yeah, you're right. It's tough when you're like a one-person show and you have to keep the lights on, and a lot of these smaller companies can't quite support you like a larger company can.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're not going to be able to send you something for free or have an affiliate program or, whatever it is. Even if they had those things, it's so much easier to review a rep item that will get more sales or whatever else versus something else where even if you wanted to do it, you want to do the other one more, like you're not going to get as many views, you're not going to get clicks. There's a lot that goes into this. And like you said, it's hard to balance, like this is what I should be doing and this is what I want to do. But like as a business, if I want to grow, this is what I really should be doing, and that's the dirty kind of hard side of doing this kind of stuff, I guess.
For sure.
Well, that's going to wrap it up. Gluck, give us your plugs real quick. As if people don't know. Go ahead.
Maybe they don't. I guess it's just Gluck's Gym. Mostly YouTube. That's our biggest space. We have an Instagram. We have a Facebook. It's really just an Instagram reposting. We have a website with some merch, I suppose. But at this point, it's mostly YouTube 99% of the time because that's what we got the time for. So if you enjoy the content, give us some shout outs or whatever.
Sweet. Well, that's going to do it for us. Did you like tonight's episode? Be sure to keep an eye out for new episode releases wherever you listen to podcasts. Stay involved in our social media sites by following Garage Gym Experiment and taking part in our Sunday surveys on Instagram so that you can be part of the conversation. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, and get involved in our website for all your home gym content needs. Jake, do you have anything else left for the listeners?
I don't think so.
He doesn't think so. That's going to do it then, guys. Appreciate the listen.